Hey, hello, it's Hannah J, and today I thought that it would be cool to reminisce, because I've been looking at a whole bunch of old pictures of myself from when I was little, Facebook memory, those. And I've been like looking at stuff that I posted a long time ago, and I've just been reminiscing about my childhood, and I thought that today's video would be about old kid shows I used to love to watch when I was little. So these are some of my favorite kid shows from when I was little. If I know some of the shows I watched when I was little aren't on this list because I loved a lot of shows, but I just picked a few that I really, really loved a lot. So the first one we're gonna talk about was like my childhood show, man. Like I watched this show all the time, and I'm sorry I'm moving. Okay, so I watched this show all the time. And, I watched it when I was an older little kid, you know what I mean? The older little kids. You guys know what I mean. And so, this show, it's Ed, Edd n Eddy. I don't know if you've seen that show. That show's amazing. But, it was just a really funny show, about three best friends and their lives. And I just always thought it was so funny and so different. Not really different, just weird and funny. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories around this show. And my dog is scratching his collar thing. But this show was just really, it was a really good show when I was little. And I used to watch it all the time because I loved it so much. Yeah. Okay. This show I remember watching, a few times. And it's Rocket Power. I don't know if you know that show. Is about best friends, who were sporty and that show has all shows have conspiracy theories nowadays. But this show was so funny and it was so cool. And when I was little, I just thought it was so fascinating to watch, And I always loved, I forget her name, but she had purple hair, and I always loved her because she had purple hair. And I was like, I'm gonna be her one day and have purple hair. My dream came true. I had purple hair once. But this show was really funny, and it was really interesting as a kid, I loved watching it because I was into it, man. It was the shit. I don't know how else to say it. But Ed, Edd n Eddy, that show was like my life. Okay, this show. Okay, so this is The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. This show was everything to me. I loved this show so much. I remember I would come home from school and I would turn on the TV to watch this show, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. This show was so funny. It was so weird. I loved everything. I always was secretly like, me and Mandy have a thing because we get each other. I understand her anger and her meanness because I was always a really mean kid. And Billy was stupid, and it was so funny because he would do the dumbest shit. And it was the funniest thing ever to me. And then Grim was just Grim, and he was like, I fucking hate you kids, but I'm stuck with you. And it was like, that's how a lot of adult feels like, especially the Grim Reaper. But that show was just so funny, and like it was really weird, but it was funny, you know what I mean? Like it was weird, but there was a lot of funniness in it. I miss this show. I feel so old. These shows were so good when I was a kid, but yeah, I don't know. I loved that show. That show was amazing. This one was really cool too. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I used to love this show. I started watching this show when I stopped having imaginary friends. So I was like, oh, that's where my imaginary friend is. And it was just really cool because it was like a twist on the whole imaginary friends thing, And it was just a funny, good way to think of imaginary friends. To just think that they went and lived happily in a house full of their kind. I don't know. I thought it was weird and funny, and it was so cool. I would have worked there. I would have been there all the time. I would have been like, hey. I'm so weird. But that show was just so good. Okay. I'm trying to remember. Chalk Boy? I think that was the name of it. Was that the name of it? I should have looked it up. I don't remember the name of the show. I'll show a picture. But this show, man, I remember I used to watch it all the time, and I thought it was so cool. You know, it made your imagination go wild. You know, imagining like a chalk world. That was so cool. I don't know. I always thought it was cool. Chalk Boy. I don't remember his name, but he was cool. This show, I remember watching it because I thought it was so funny and so cool and weird. And like, it was one of my childhood favorite shows. I remember watching it when Billy, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy wasn't on. I'd watch this show. Now this show is newer than I think most of these other ones. I think pretty much all of these other ones. And it's Chowder. I used to watch the show when I was, I don't remember when it came out. I used to watch it when I was, younger than I am now at least. And I always thought this show was really funny, and like, I always thought Chowder was so stupid, but in the funniest way. And I loved all of the characters. They all had like good personalities and stuff. And Waddle, what was his name? I don't know. That show was just so funny, and I love food. So any show about food was like me, because I love food. Okay, this show was so cute, and it was so funny, and it was like a Powerpuff Girl show, but at the same time not. It's My Life as a Teenage Robot, and it's like, she's a teenager and she's a robot, and it's like weird and cool, and I love that she's like an actual teenager, just but she's also kind of like a superhero, and she's kind of really cool. I don't know. It was funny, and it was a really, really cute show. Okay. The last show I'm going to talk about is Camp Lazlo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. This show is so funny. I watch the show all the time, and like everyone in the show it was just a really, really funny cartoon. It was one of my favorites. I watched it all the time. Like, this cartoon was my show, It was one of my shows that I watched all the time, and I would go on Cartoon Network's website and play the games. Like, if they had this show still playing, I'd still watch it. I'd watch pretty much all of these shows still, because they were just such good shows when I was little, and whatnot. Okay, well, this video made me feel really old, so thanks me for thinking of this. But yeah, I feel really old now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment down below your favorite TV shows from when you were a kid. So if you liked this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Go follow me on all my social media, link in the description. And have a lovely day, you lovely people.